Good evening and welcome back. Pain to the world, as the holiday season says. It's tough out here. We've been on hiatus. We've had a little bit of delay, but we're here. Pain is attacking the Leaf Village. Pain to the world. That's the last episode we watched. So yeah, this batch 152 through 162, we saw the follow-up of the aftermath of Jiraiya's death being spread throughout the world, everybody learning how it happened, and then some more stuff, some big stuff. This is a very climactic moment in the Shippuden story arc. This has been what we've been building to for a long time. So I ask you, what is the fastest that you guys have watched this show?
I watched these the day after we recorded the last one, which was a month ago. So fast.
Did you rewatch? Or you just like, I have enough notes and I remember? That's wild.
I made way too many notes. I had to go bullets on like, here's the big things that I thought about all of this, because there's so much stuff happened.
Yeah.
So many things.
So much stuff. Well, let's
I'm
get
worried
into
about it.
Then. You're worried about it.
Yeah.
I know. Let's get there. Let's build to that. Save it.
So,
as they say.
Yeah, save it.
152.
I just got to say, to start off the whole show, welcome back, everybody, by the way. I have to admire Naruto for, like, not believing the status quo of, like, dude, just give up on Sasuke, man. Like, it's a lost cause.
Don't believe it.
Yeah. He's, like, convicted about this, and, like, everybody's trying to, like, make him out to be, like, on a mission that's not worth it, and like it just doesn't mean as much to them as it does to him. Like let him be on his journey and figure it out. And he's like not easily manipulated. But the wrench in that was very interesting is Itachi sharing powers with him. I'm interested to see what that means, because we didn't really get anything in this batch. We just saw that it's like set up for another moment in the show, but like to my knowledge that wasn't really elaborated on because there's so much going on outside of that moment.
Yeah,
but that's interesting too.
Yeah, nothing else has been said about it. It'll be some time, but that's just because we're dealing with pain right now.
Yeah,
so a lot going on there. It is interesting how they slide that in there. And whenever you learn more about why and how and what exactly all that was, at least for me, I was like, when did that even happen? Because it slid like right in between some big stuff. Jiraiya dies, and then what did we do like after that? Like Sasuke fights the Eight Tails, which also came out that he totally duped Sasuke, made him look so stupid. The Eight Tails. Did y'all catch that?
I was going to ask you about that. Like, what happened there? Because the note that I made was, did Sasuke not give them the Eight Tails on purpose? Because
it was the Eight Tails. He duped him. I mean, he got him on like a really solid like shadow clone or like substitution or not substitution. Shadow clone, because I guess there may be substitution because the tentacles there. Lore Master, welcome back. Thank you. Tell us what's happening here. But essentially, that is not the Eight Tails. So they like were extracting the chakra that was like in that tentacle. And again, Lore Master, correct me here. But whenever that was kind of up, it reverted back to the tentacle. And then Eight Tails is somewhere else.
Dang. So if you hadn't said that just now, I was under the impression that Sasuke did have the 8 tails, but gave the Akatsuki a different body.
Yeah,
Which also
Pain
could have been
says
cool.
like, oh, it appears that Sasuke was tricked or something of the sort. Which I totally get where and how you ended up at that conclusion.
It's because I'm
sense.
holding out hope for
Sorry,
Sasuke.
Gave a little bit of a spoiler.
No, that's
there,
fine.
but anyways, so yeah, that little part with Naruto is just slid in, like in between some big stuff, so it's easy to forget. So making a big deal about it now is a good thing, I think.
Well, it's like a callback, like they did with the Itachi Sasuke fight, because like the first time we saw it, we didn't get all the details,
right?
And like when Naruto was searching for Sasuke, he ran into Itachi in the woods, and then we're getting another callback to that scene. But it just feels like such a dense thing to like gloss over to come back to later. But I mean, it doesn't feel like it doesn't make sense in that order, but it's also, I just want to know. But
right,
there's so much going on.
Yeah. So after that, like I said, we see for a little bit the Akatsuki are trying to extract the tail beast out of out of 8 tails. Doesn't work. And then let's see, 153 at that point. What happens? What do we see there?
I have a question about this episode. And it might have been something that happened in filler, but it could also be something that we get to go back to, like the Itachi Naruto scene. There was a conversation of Naruto's frustration with Tsunade, which I kind of mentioned the last episode of like, how could Tsunade do that? Did that happen during filler, or is that something we haven't seen yet? Because I was kind of confused.
Are you talking about the conversation between Jiraiya and Tsunade?
No, Naruto is in Tsunade's office when he finds out about Jiraiya, and he's like ticked. He's like, "How could you let him go on your own?" Which is what I was saying,
right?
But I don't remember seeing that whole conversation. Is that something that
conversation happened at the end of 152? Naruto finds out. He tells Tsunade, like, basically, like, I'll get revenge. And then, or he says, like, I'll avenge my master. And then he also says, like, he would have never let you go, like, never. And then in 153, it just picks right back up with it and finishes it off, but it's more brief. But the full conversation is in the end of 152.
It just felt like both of those felt like it was less than what they would have actually said in like a reality version of that.
Yeah, it is. But that's like all we're given. Like that, it's just kind of like a. I at least take it as if we were to sit there and listen to the entire conversation, we would be listening to a bunch of information that we already know.
Gotcha.
So I think they kind of skipped over that and got to everybody's caught up. Here's Naruto's reaction.
Yeah. Naruto's upset.
Yeah.
I do think it's funny that I kind of have the same sentiment as Naruto and had since Jiraiya was sent off on his own. You know, it's like,
no, he wasn't sent off. He was the one that was like, I'm going, and no one stopped him.
Yeah, but
I mean, think about who he is in the village, though. Like I will still back this the whole time. Like he is the right person for that job. He is the only person that makes sense, and more people is more of a hindrance to Jiraiya. So I mean, I hate that he died, and it does make Naruto like very human in 153, maybe 152. I can't remember. It might be 153, where he's just like he's going through it. He's in mourning, in grief, and it was just awful. Like those scenes are so sad. I think that they do a great job of like expressing his sadness through just like no words, like just like pure animation. And it's just like very well done.
It made me appreciate Iruka because, you know,
Yeah.
2 teachers and one of them's still here, and he kind of broke the popsicle in the classic Jiraiya way and did that thing with him and helped him kind of figure out his grief, but also like help him just realize, hey, we gotta keep going.
Right.
Path forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iruka is great. I really, really like him. It always sucked because, like, in growing up playing the Naruto fighting games, I believe it was Clash of Ninja. It was one on GameCube. I can't remember, but one of them, Iruka, was an actual like playable character. And because of the character selection, like there just weren't in the early games, there weren't enough characters that were actual like fighters that we had seen that to like really supply the game. So I remember like the very first Clash of Ninja had like Haku, Zabuza, Team 7, and Kakashi, Iruka, and then if I'm not mistaken, there was only like a few more characters beyond that. Like it wasn't very many, a small selection. But I really, point being, I really liked fighting as Iruka, but he was always so boring to fight as because, especially at those early games, we knew nothing about his fighting style. So, and we barely know anything about it now. But
so like even in the games, he didn't really have some like crazy.
He didn't have anything to do.
Like a
he was just
Rasengan type
it
of
might
thing.
as well have been just like generic ninja A, and that's who you're playing as.
Right.
So kind of done dirty there. I like Iruka enough to like want to know more about him, but I don't think that he is a warrior. So I don't think that it's like a path that really like stood a chance comparatively to everything else.
So speaking of Iruka, I think about this a lot with him specifically because I'm always kind of in the most morbid way possible wondering like who's going to die by the end of the series. And it always just like I have no reason to think this other than that if Iruka died, it would hurt really bad. Like it would be just awful. And that makes me think that they would kill him off just to like tear at our heartstrings.
Just to hurt you.
Yeah. It's a cynical view, I know, but
no, it's valid though, because like you've been conditioned through anime or whatever that you've watched to expect that. Yeah. And I think that it's funny because you can watch some shows like, okay, did you guys ever watch Fall of the House of Usher? It was a Netflix series.
No, I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, it was like it's same people that did like Haunting of Hill House and what was that, like Midnight Mass?
Yeah, I only decided not to watch when I realized that it wasn't about Usher the singer.
Yeah,
and
that's why I was waiting for him to show up.
Right now.
That cannot be. Is that real?
It's real.
Wow.
So you're like super looking forward to the Super Bowl this year?
Oh yeah,
I have no idea. Is Usher in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he's playing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's going in as QB, baby. Yeah.
Oh man. But so in that show, I'm gonna end up spoiling it for people, but okay. It's been a while. So in that show, they'll focus on like different parts of the family, and you could always tell, like, oh, okay, we're getting some attention here. They're gonna die.
They're gonna die.
And I think that holds true through like a lot of media. That they like make sure to give you everything that like right leading up to it, so it hurts more. But speaking of hurting more, we learned what pain means. Let's talk about this in its entirety. We don't have to go in order from here. Oh, the message before we go on, the message. So, did you guys like that? It is really impressive that Jiraiya was able to like encrypt something that way, and the way that it was explained was really cool because it like dealt with like kanji, like that like always looks like a 9 to me until they're like, you know, explaining it, and without that explanation it would have made no sense to any audience besides Japanese. But it's a really cool idea. I just wanted to bring it up, see if you guys had any thoughts about it.
I thought it was cool. I really liked the way they kind of handled the whole thing too, and it was sort of a nice little break going down like a God, what do you call that when it's like a not just that, but what are those it's like a procedural drama for a little bit where they're like trying to figure stuff out, you know, like a police procedural.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That just means like shoot, what am I thinking? Not criminal, like Criminal Minds is kind of like that. What's the huge
Minds.
one? That's
CSI?
like where, yeah,
CSI. Law and Order.
Law and Order. Thank you. Good God, getting too old.
Okay, so what about Law and Order? What is this podcast about?
This like episode is brought to you by Dick Wolf.
That's like a
executive producer.
The biggest example of like a police procedural drama.
Okay.
And that's like we went on this sort of like tangent, much like I have with Shikamaru.
Can I be Ice-T
and that
from
girl.
now on?
Absolutely.
No.
So what you're telling me is he always had a way of doing it.
He always repeats it back.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we saw her last Thursday. And he's like, so what you're telling me is the last time it was a Thursday, you saw her here? And they're like, yeah, that one. Yeah, we used to watch SVU. Like, yeah, that's really what it is. And it's like, we'll be right back after these commercials.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like they told him just repeat everything and we'll cut it if we need to. We'll keep it if we need to. We need 43 minutes exactly.
Yep. Yeah, I would not be surprised at all. So much just like fluff. But so Pain comes to the Leaf Village, and Naruto's training at the same time. So we get this like cool aspect of training with Naruto, and like you're seeing him learn something completely different, something we've not seen. Like we've seen it in Jiraiya, but like we didn't really have any premonition that Naruto would be going down this path so quickly, especially after Jiraiya's death. But they're kind of shoved into the position that he kind of has to. And then at the same time, you have the devastation of the Leaf Village, and everyone we know dying, namely Kakashi.
Dude.
I can't accept this. I just can't.
That not like, let's just jump to that. The fight's great.
No way that he's dead.
Dude, he's gone.
He's dead. These people died. Like he killed them.
I didn't believe it either until the whole Rin and Obito scene, and he like talked to his father. That was kind of like when Harry goes to see Dumbledore at King's Cross Station. Like,
yeah,
he's gone.
Yeah,
like he's actually talking to his dad, who's also dead.
Yeah,
and that was like, oh my gosh, they really did this. But there's like, it's so chaotic and like it's war. And so it's almost like they don't have time to stop and wait. Like it's still happening. You got to keep going. And I feel like they're going to like tribute him later, or
because it can't
happens. Who knows?
And like we spend time on him right now because like the way it did with the third Hokage, like that all wrapped up like basically after he was killed. So we got to spend time on it.
But did he die from pain, or did he die by himself?
No,
like it seemed like he just like went to his end.
Yeah, so he used Kamui like the last time, and that took his chakra down to nothing. So he died.
That's insane.
No.
But he did that on purpose too. Like he sacrificed himself, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like
the nail Kamui was disgusting, was it not?
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It was so cool, dude.
It's what you're feeling right now, Asher, is how I felt with Jiraiya. I'm like, it's like, yeah, it looks like he's dead, but like, and even back then with Choji, I was like, they can't kill Choji, and Choji happened to we never saw him die, but we saw Kakashi die. Like, just like we saw Jiraiya die when he's talking to himself about the next book. But he wasn't really talking. It was like...
It was just inner monologue.
The beyond was continuing.
Yeah. I think that's interesting that has flipped, because if I remember correctly, Asher was not only glad that Jiraiya died, immediately convinced of it too.
Well, I think the only reason
I was not glad, putting words in my mouth.
Okay.
You thought he deserved it. I'm just kidding.
No, I didn't even say he deserved it. I said he had it coming. Actually, I didn't even say he did have it coming.
You said, did he have it? You asked the question.
Logan.
But did he have it coming?
Logan, listen.
No, I'm hearing you.
I did say, did he have it coming? I didn't say he definitely had it coming. I asked a question. You all got mad.
It's a dumb question. You know how teachers used to say there's no stupid questions? Well,
that was a dumb one.
Here's the deal. The only reason I'm so finite in this is because I just went through it. And I was like, they wouldn't do that to one of the top tier guys. And
y'all haven't watched enough kill all of your favorite characters anime yet.
Nah. But I'm here.
Like Jujutsu Kaisen. Let's kill everyone you like immediately.
Well, that happened in Demon Slayer too.
Yeah.
I don't know how far Asher is into it, but
it doesn't matter. I am so uninterested, but I want to know what happens. I don't want to watch it.
I finished the manga of that.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it animated. I am not excited to relive my heartache in glorious animation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm saying this again is because it just happened with Jiraiya, and so I'm less inclined to be like, yeah, right. They're trying to show the severity of who Pain is, and they're succeeding, because by the end of this batch, it makes sense why Kakashi died. The abilities that guy has. And yes, Kakashi sacrificed himself technically, but he was pushed to that point. He was pushed to that point by someone who literally...
Oh, he was going to die either way. I mean, he used that last Kamui. What was that last Kamui even for? I can't remember.
It was for Choji, wasn't it? To let him go.
To let him escape?
Get the message out?
Yeah. That's what it was. Yes. And so, I mean... a sacrifice for sure, but I think either way, I mean, even if he didn't willingly use that Kamui to send Choji there, I think that it's just he was gonna die anyways. I think it would have been a matter of time before somebody else just finished him off.
I mean, but that hear me out, Asher. I don't think this is the end of Kakashi necessarily, because it's not the end of Jiraiya. We still are seeing residual wisdom being passed on,
yeah.
and I feel like Kakashi is going to be there in spirit, is how Hollywood puts it. But I mean, it sucks. But
I would believe that too if he was actually dead. I just I'm not. I don't think so. Doesn't Harry come back from King's Cross after he's...
Yeah, but that's Harry Potter.
And he had a resurrection stone.
All right. Sure. Maybe Kakashi had a resurrection stone.
He literally had mastered all 3 of the Deathly Hallows. He was the master of death. That's how he got to come back.
Right. Kakashi mastered earth, wind, fire, and heart, and wind, and the other one.
And wind. Yeah.
Also earth and fire and water.
And wind.
And heart. So I think there's a good chance
that's a good point.
Coming back.
Changing my mind. I know how the story ends. I know what happens next. I changed my mind.
That's the other thing.
He's alive.
You know how the story ends, and you're talking about him like he's dead. So I think he is dead, but I think he comes back.
No, that's Dragon Ball Z. Naruto doesn't do that.
Ah, shoot.
Name one other character.
If resurrection was a factor, Jiraiya would be back.
You can't. Goku been killed
he's
6
like
times.
He's like legally pronounceable dead, you know? But he's not like all the way gone.
All right.
Like Jiraiya was gone completely in every way. Do you know what I mean?
I just think
Kakashi's like experiencing the afterlife right now, but he can still come back. He's going to get a choice.
I just want you to know, Asher, the moment this settles in, you're welcome to call me because you are going to be heartbroken, just like I was.
I don't think I will if he is dead. There's a good chance I won't be though.
Wait, you don't think that you'll feel sad?
Yeah, of course, but not
whenever you finally accept this.
Yeah, of course. I was sad about Jiraiya too. I still am. I know you don't believe that.
If Jiraiya was on a ballot, would you vote for him?
You all can believe, God. You all can believe that Jiraiya is simultaneously a great man and a perv, right?
No, I didn't say that. That's a major twist of my words.
Wait, do you not think he was also a great man and a pervy sage?
No, it's just we've never gone over that specific terminology.
Well, let's go over it right now. Do you think that or not?
I need to think about that sometime.
Let's get political. Let's debate. Okay, we can move on. Let's move on.
So, okay. Kakashi dies. Shizune also dies in the last episode. Drops her right on her head. I mean, listen, in reality, I know that she kind of just like hits the floor and she's like, and it's like, that's it. In reality, she hits her head. She breaks her neck. She's already dead at that point, but like, that's not a good fall. Yeah. That's pretty tough. Konohamaru coming home with the Rasengan.
Dude, that was sick. Way to go, Naruto. Shikamaru really turned a leaf for that guy.
Turned a hidden leaf, he did.
That is Konoha.
Konoha ha ha.
Shut it down. We've said all we need to say.
I mean, I was impressed with hear me out. I was annoyed with Konohamaru for like 20 minutes of that episode because I'm like, bro, Ebisu is sacrificing himself for you to get away. Go. Get out of there. And then he's like, but like this whole time he's like, but I can do my Rasengan. Like I got it hidden away. You know what I mean? Like,
and he got him on the shadow clone too.
Let's go. He's still annoying, but
that was a sick little fight for a little bit.
I was impressed with the young lad, if you will, living up to that grandfather's name, if you will.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, I thought it was cool that Naruto had a callback to Shikamaru's like inspiration at the end of 153 of like,
we can't be brats forever.
Yeah.
I went a little more Steve-O there. I'm very sorry.
Steve-O is in Naruto now, and he's Shikamaru.
Just risking it all for just the wildest moves.
Amazing. So Naruto, the training. Let's talk about the training a little bit. I think that it's It's like a super memorable part of the entire Shippuden like story arc, probably because it's in tandem with the Pain Assault. But I don't know. I always really like it. It's something about Naruto turning into a frog that just really draws me in.
Just fully inflated.
Yeah, I love it.
Immediate whack in the head.
Way back in episode 154 that he ate bugs and he threw up. It's like the only thing I remember from that whole episode.
I love that he's like, that was awful. And then Lord Fukasaku is like, if Ma sees you like that, she's going to throw a fit. And he's like, I forced it all down. What more do you want from me?
Yeah. He's like respectable enough to be like, I'm not going to like make a big deal about this, but this sucks.
Yeah.
And like the response though is like just setting him up for like a long journey, because he was saying, well, anything tastes good if you're hungry enough.
Yep. And then
whenever, dude, that's awful.
After the training, when he was like, oh, this is good, and he's like, no. he's like, I'm not even gonna be human whenever I leave here.
Yeah. It just sets up, they're gonna have like a giant, after Pain's gone, the dust settles, the fight's over. If he doesn't die, who knows? But I feel like Ichiraku's going to be one of the last buildings remaining, and he's going to get this glorious meal because he's been waiting for
it. Yeah. Oh. But I don't know. That almighty push at the end of 162 was literal devastation.
Dude. Looked like... I don't know. I'm not convinced it's like the whole village, because it felt like all the aerial shots of the village they did so far was like pretty wide, and that was like pretty condensed, that whole. I don't know.
What are you talking about? That very last shot whenever Naruto like is summoned, Ma summons.
Yeah.
It's
in the middle of the crater.
Yeah. And like that first shot where like that's super far away. Like super far away. You can barely hear the summoning.
So it's like we're getting ready for a complete rebuild of the city.
It is gone. And the people in it. Gone. You'll see in the next batch. It'll become very evident in the next batch.
So that's why Rock Lee and all them are conveniently not in the village.
I mean,
because I was like, they shouldn't have shown us that. Because I was like, where are we at with these guys? Everybody's just, the city's under attack and they're just kind of like chilling. Well, they weren't there. Makes sense.
And that all, I mean, the entire attack probably happened fairly quickly. I mean, was that over the course of like one full day, or was that like an hour, you know?
Yeah, I would say probably a few hours.
Yeah.
I would say from the time that first assault happened outside of the village, to Naruto showing up could have been half a day.
Yeah.
I'm going to defer to Lore Master here on that, but that's my best guess, just like based on like it's not really feasible for the attack to start and then for Pain and Tsunade to not encounter until like days later. Because of like his ultimate objective is to get to Naruto, they're gonna look through the village, but like ultimately like Pain is going to go like for the highest value target to get that information. But I don't have any like hard evidence of that. It's just deduction.
Right.
See, if they had left out, and I know that this was episode like week by week whenever it was new, and we're watching it in different batches than the normal playthrough of the show. But if they had left that conversation with Lady Angel, what's her real name?
Oh, Conan.
Conan. Whenever the 5 or the 4 other Pains show up to kind of, I guess, channel into the one floating, what was his name?
That's Pain.
Pain. It seemed like he had a different name.
Okay, so Nagato.
I think that's what it was.
That was one of the
remember
kids, right?
Right, and then
okay,
or is it Yahiko is one of them, and then Nagato is the other, and I can't remember who is who, but the orange-haired kid is now Pain. The orange-haired kid is that orange-haired like main one that yeah. But we've got this whole like like chakra rod thing happening with Shizune before she died of like, are they dead people or these corpses, which leads to like, is Nagato, I think it's Nagato. Give me 1 second. I'll find out.
I think you're right, because I think Yahiko was the emo kid.
Yes. Okay. So actually I think that Yahiko is the orange-haired kid and Nagato is sorry.
That's exactly what I'm just kidding. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, okay. Yahiko is the orange-haired kid.
Okay.
But we're like inclined to believe that all of them are being controlled exteriorly, like by somewhere else.
Big brain, right?
By the big brain.
What the hell is going on with that thing?
The eyes that kind of show up every now and then in the darkness. We don't know that yet, so I'm not going to speculate. But Lady Angel, Conan, mentioned at the end whenever he was talking about the power of the sixes, she said there's not going to be it's going to significantly shorten your life. So what he did to destroy the leaf, even though he knew Naruto wasn't there, it was kind of reckless if you think about it. Like
I think it was payback. I think it was payback to, and he even says it. He's like, I won't forget what Yahiko went through.
Yeah.
And then does that. So, I mean, I think it was probably revenge in some sort of way towards Tsunade and the Leaf Village as a whole, towards Jiraiya, even though they just killed him. I mean, I don't know what more you'd want. But, so I guess that was worth it. But I agree. I mean, he definitely, we'll learn more about that, what that means. Because she said it on purpose, obviously.
Right.
But like, didn't Jiraiya like save their lives back then? Like, there's a big disconnect that I'm sure we'll get more backstory for of like why are they so angry at Jiraiya and at the leaf, or like why would they destroy the leaf out of revenge? Like, what happened in between there, or is it just that Jiraiya, in their eyes, abandoned them after,
Well, I mean, we kind of got a little bit because they weren't kids. Like they were the enemy, which is why Tsunade and Orochimaru were like, don't help these kids. They're not on our side. And so, Jiraiya did what he could to like train them up and show them like, hey, here's how to survive. But I don't think that was enough because they still saw destruction that we haven't seen from their history. And Orochimaru and Tsunade were reluctant anyways. So it's not like they were like yes, Jiraiya was helpful and whatever. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't enough to like change their course of like action, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, or like the revenge that they feel is necessary for what happened back then.
Because as soon as Jiraiya pieced out, like they're still in the destruction of what their side was dealing with. Which, if Tsunade and Orochimaru are saying they're the enemy, I feel like that's coming from the Leaf. Like it's war,
right?
And they're doing what their side believes is right, which is the stickiness of war in general. So that to me seems predictable, and I know it won't be fully because they have their own twists and turns on everything. But all that to say, I see how war is a huge theme in this show, and how the cause and effect of other people's actions have ripple effects through cultures and villages, and you don't know what you're going to do to someone else in the future because of the hate you've put in their heart from destroying something they love. And I don't think we've seen that fully, but it definitely feels like the way he's talking and like this world will know pain, the double entendre of you're going to know who I am, but you're also going to know what I went through.
Yeah. And like you can't know peace until you know pain. Yeah.
Damn. And it's like at the end of the day, it's perspective, right? Which is what Tsunade was talking about at the beginning of episode 161. Like it's perspective. And pain is the enemy here. But at the end of the day, like I have a heart that knows like just because they're a different country or whatever doesn't mean like in his eyes, he's Naruto in his own world. He's the hero. You know what I mean? That's the ugliness of war is everyone thinks they're right.
Yeah.
And we got to be able
fight
to
about it.
Yeah. And like, yeah, it's just tough because if Pain was the hero, like, dude, he's a powerful guy to have on your side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
And
so a little bit back on your rant. So if I remember correctly, the kids are from the Rain Village, and that was during the second Great Ninja War. And I believe that the Rain Village was not in the fighting, but because of where they were located, they were the battlefield between the two great nations that they separate. And Jiraiya stayed to train them, basically saying like, I can't take care of you forever, but I'll make sure that you're good enough to leave alone, and then I'll peace out whenever I'm done. And then that's what happened. And I think that didn't really go well because remember, like they were fighting, they were sparring together, and then they were doing really well. And basically, once they were doing really well, Jiraiya was like, all right, well, I did my job. See ya. And then I think that kind of felt a little like, wait, like what is this to you exactly?
And you mean like why was he doing that?
Right. And like almost like, wait, you may have said that that's why you were doing it. We thought things changed because they had grown to love each other.
Sure.
But whenever he was like, nah, and then like Zach's right, like war's still going on. He left during the war still. Because he had to go back to fighting. I mean, he was a huge asset and he like stayed with them for years. So, years might be strong. I don't really know how long, but they looked older by the end of it. So I don't know, some amount of time. But anyways, yeah, I think you're exactly right, Zach. I mean, I think that from Nagato or Yahiko's point of view, he's right. And it's not even morally right as much as it is like, well, I guess it is morally right as well as we have a big mission to fulfill to make a shit ton of money. but ultimately I'm going to destroy the leaf, even though Naruto's not here, because of morals or revenge or whatever. We'll get answers on that, but yeah.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's what he thinks is right and what he thinks is best, you know. So
yeah,
I'm sure he sees it as a future threat, and if he can go ahead and just crush it, like, hey, look how freaking strong I am. So don't mess with me. I destroyed the leaf.
Speaking of the future, though, you know what this made me think of, and I'm going into speculation mode here, is Pain just destroyed Sasuke's entire mission. Like, he wants to destroy the leaf. Like, what's Sasuke going to do now?
Yeah, we're going to get to that because that you are dead on. That's a thing, a big like thing, because that's all Sasuke wanted. And Yahiko was not, Pain was not ignorant to that. He just didn't care. He sent Sasuke to get the 8 tails instead, and basically was like, if you're going to be a part of the Akatsuki, like you're just not going to come in and immediately get to do what you want. Also, Sasuke could literally never have done that.
Right.
He would have had an attack and it would have been stopped, and it could have been stopped fast. Sasuke's good, but he's not devastation to the entire village with no chance of fighting back. Good.
Yeah. He also made off with one tentacle and barely his life from that battle, so it's like
8 Tails beat the shit out of him. And then I think the show does a good job of making it seem like that was like, oh, that was pretty close. Okay, Sasuke kind of won that. And then as time goes on, you're like, oh, wait.
Like nothing happened there.
He was never in control of that situation.
I am excited to see how that plays out. Like, as much as I didn't like the introduction of B, at least in the dub, I didn't watch sub, but just my experience with it was very like, the hell is this? So out of left field. But I'm really excited about that storyline and seeing the other people from that village kind of plotting and figuring out like, hey, we've got to get involved in this now, you know?
Yeah. Well, and we've got this really interesting subplot too that's happening because the 5 Kage summit the 5 Kages have been summoned, I believe, right? That was done, or it was going to be done. I think it was done. But
I think
beyond
you're right.
that,
I think that was early.
Like early. It was like before the assault. Yeah. But beyond that, we've got Danzo, who is
frick Danzo, man.
Dude, yes. Everybody hates Danzo. And dude, okay, I remember, and I'll bring this up whenever this happens, but I remember there's a portion in the show where something happens. This is so vague, but I have to be. Something happens that the first time that me and Lance watched this together, and we weren't week to week at this point. We were still trying to catch up. In those few hours of me learning this information and then seeing how it played out, I was angry, real life angry. Couldn't stand it. So when that happens, I will tell you, but I loathe Danzo. Cannot stand him. He's the worst. And he kills that frog, which is also unforgivable.
Unbelievable. He plays a very niche character
He's a shadow.
Yeah, he's like the uprising opposition that everyone is going to rally against.
Pulling strings in the shadows.
Yeah, and I didn't like him ever since Yamato's introduction. Like, he's just, or not Yamato, Sai's introduction.
Yeah.
Which was around the same time, which is probably why I got that confused. But
yeah. What were you going to say a minute ago, Asher?
I just made a note that the exact note was effing Donzo. What the F? He has like 6 followers, because when it cuts to him, like in that kind of underground looking layers, like he's given this speech about how like they're going to rise up or whatever the hell. And it like pans out and there's like 6 people listening to him. I was like, frick you, dude.
That is, just to be like clear, that is like a portion of, that's the foundation. That's where Psy came from. That's like a portion of the Black Ops. So in the Black Ops is already tiny. So beyond that, like it is purely only because he's pulling strings in the background with some very powerful people.
Yeah, but because a lot of the Black Ops are fighting at the moment.
Right. Well, I was also going to bring that up. Still, no redeeming factors for the Black Ops. If you'd asked me before watching this show, or before this watch through of the show, I would have been like, yeah, like not crazy, but elite. Like still, we don't see a ton from the Black Ops, but like you can expect like elite. And then watching it with you guys and hearing your all's takes on this, I think it's borderline changed my opinion. Anyway, let's talk about pain. Let's hear some theories. Let's hear some final thoughts before we close this down, and then we go see how this unfolds for the next batch. Thoughts on pain? What are you guys thinking? There's got to be some. If you don't have one, develop a theory now, because there has to be one with everything that's happening with Shizune and the chakra rides and the way they look. And there's 6 of them, and they've replaced the one that Dry killed. What do you think all that means?
I think that Yahiko, is it Yahiko who's the orange hair?
Yeah.
I think is the other guy. Nagato?
You think Nagato
is the source?
The orange. You think? Okay, you think he's the source
somehow, or he's the origin of some absolutely batshit insane jutsu that has created this like monstrosity,
right?
But I also put on here somewhere that if some of those are corpses and they're literally just like reanimated to fight for this big brain thing. God, let me find it real quick. I'll edit, I promise. But it seemed like one of them kept their memories and then the rest didn't, which makes me think that some of them are just dead bodies, because we saw that weird flashback thing, but that the 2 kids are there like voluntarily somehow.
That Conan and Yahiko are like complicit, but then the other 5 bodies are just dead bodies that are replaceable.
That's
phenomenal theory.
That's what I'm thinking.
I feel the same way, but I'm split on how that happened.
Yeah.
And the reason I say split is I feel like it's either the other people weren't on board with his plan and he's young and immature and kills them in a rage, feels remorse, and is like, well, I'll use them for this plan anyways. Or another birthplace of pain could have been they were, just like we were talking about earlier with the war, a byproduct of maybe wrong place, wrong time. Maybe they just weren't strong enough and they thought they were, but they were killed. And he was like, well, that's not going to be the end of them. I'm going to use them to carry out my mission of revenge in that way. I lean more towards that side because I don't think that he like is just straight up ready to murder his friends, but I can't count that out either.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just pointing this out as a mere fact. Conan does not have, now she's also made a paper, but she has no like gauges, no chakra rods.
Oh yeah.
Just pointing that out.
How could she? She's a friggin' paper airplane.
She is a paper airplane, dude.
All
And okay, let's talk about how just atrocious Kiba's family is. Like,
oh gosh,
dude.
And he even recognizes it towards the end when he's just like, gosh,
leave it to mom.
Leave it to mom.
This is like, dude.
Oh, I bet it's because of my powers.
Yeah, and it's like, no, you and your dog did not. Not in this world.
Do nothing.
Not in this world.
Nothing, huh?
Yeah, I was watching that specific episode where they're like fighting, one of the last episodes, while cooking, and Bree came into the kitchen and she hears Naruto talking to Lord Fukusaku in the like scene before, and then she's like, man, Naruto's a little bitch. I started laughing, and then she hears
Bree.
Yeah, she hears Kiba's mom come in, and she goes like, fang over fang, and she was like, why does he sound like that? And I was like, that's a girl. And he was like, she was like, but isn't Naruto voiced by a girl? And I was like, yeah, but it's like this weird, like, that's a butch girl. Can I say that? I don't know, but like a little bit more of like a deeper voice girl, right? And then like a higher pitched voice guy, and they end up sounding super similar. If you're not looking at it, they do sound, I'm not saying 1-to-1, but they sound the same like type of character. Really annoying. But it's weird how I can't stand Kiba's family or Kiba, but I put up with Naruto. Probably because he's the main character.
True.
Anyways.
I don't know. I'm on board now. Like the Kiba arrogance and everything is just like, dude, like you're not powerful in this universe. You're just not.
You're in the wrong one. Like you just got a big dog. Like there's dogs that big here in normal life.
Yeah.
Now you can't do fang over fang, but
do you
that's
want
also
to?
not doing. Yeah, great question.
Save that for like the C and D rank missions. If we're being honest.
Yes. Yeah. Like another point of proof that like tuning is a kind of where a lot of these ninja end up. Konohamaru watches those two ninja like get picked up by pain. One of them drops, and he's like, did that tuning just get destroyed or whatever? And those are like career ninja, old, like that's what they do to make like their money for whatever. Yeah. And that's like just where they've been. It is very like, and that's why every time you see someone like reference, like, I'm an elite Jonin ninja, we just happen to spend a lot of time with 90% of the Jonin that exists. Mm-hmm. Because we're following the main story.
And they're more interesting.
Yes, exactly. Because who are those guys? They're just two Junins that are just like keeping watch. And whenever Pain comes to town, they're like, shit.
I still want the filler episode of a slice of life of just a normal ninja doing D rank missions once a week. And then the rest of the time, like, I don't know.
Oh my God. That would make such a funny series. That could be hilarious.
It could be like just a limited run. And it's just like, this is what everybody else was doing while like Naruto's saving the world or whatever.
Yes. To like just show perspective of like what he was dealing with versus like this guy who's just doing his 9 to 5 and he's like, this sucks, has no clue. So next batch, also kind of a bigger batch. We're actually going to finish out the arc. So we will do episodes 163 through 175.
Yes.
So I'm gonna watch bigger batch. Now, I'm going to tell everybody at home, as well as you guys, episodes 170 and episode 171, they're both filler. However, we are not going to skip them. because of the content of what these are, they're worth watching. It's not like the most groundbreaking information. I just think that it'll be nice. You guys will see. I don't even want to really like spoil it for you because it's just a nice little treat in the middle of some shit. So
if it's not Naruto falling in love with the girl who works at Ichiraku, then I can't say that I care. I'm just kidding. I'm excited to
be let down for now.
Nah, man, that's not who I want him to end up with.
Who do you want him to end up with?
I don't.
If not her, then who? What do you mean?
I mean, classic
She's a firecracker.
Answer.
Challenges his palate.
Yeah.
Dipping noodles.
Meh.
All right.
Don't make that noise.
I'm one. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of rooting for Hinata at this point, just because she's like infatuated. I feel like they would make a good team.
Well, we'll see.
I don't know.
Might not have the chance because all Hinata gonna get planetary devastated.
That was gonna hang on. You just brought up a good point. Asher, get wrecked.
Here,
Kakashi's gone. Specifically, like if he wasn't dead already, like did they have time to move him?
Dead now.
Like he gone.
That's a great point.
Are we living in a universe where Kakashi is dead and Kiba's alive?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's the problem here.
Did he have
Life
it coming
ain't fair.
Kakashi? Did he have it coming though?
Yeah, he could have moved.
Did he have it coming? He read Jiraiya's books.
Did he? He didn't have it coming because he read pervy books. Just like Jiraiya didn't have it coming because he wrote pervy books. Nor did I say anyone had it coming. I asked a simple question.
So did I. Why can't you answer it?
I said, yeah, probably. Should have moved.
He did answer it.
To all the people listening and watching, he answered it.
That's a great way to finish this. Please, good Lord, I hope you show yourself at that point. If you're listening, Asher's playing with his little Kakashi doll.
I need you to get to the end of the sentence of Asher's playing with his faster next time.
I just wanted to hold on right there. All right, so next time we will finish this up, and then we'll be given some perspective on some things. So we'll talk about the entire arc, and
Dad?
Next time we'll talk about. Dad, is that you? I'm dead now. Next time we'll talk about the intro and outro that changed this time. There's so many in Shippuden. There's really only a few that are really.
It's hard to keep up.
It really is. It's fine. It's just because in OG they're so iconic because there's only a few, and then in Shippuden there's tons, but there's only like 3, maybe 4 that are like memorable to me. And we've already gone through like 3 of them now. Anyways,
no more fighting dreamers.
Tough. That was when times were a lot more simple then, weren't they?
You have a point there.
We're almost at 1 year. We're so close.
Wow.
It might be this week.
Let's look. I'm looking right now. Worth it.
Chat. What should we do to celebrate?
I don't even know. Chat. You gotta wait for them to comment.
We are fighting dreamers. January
who
9th.
Didn't pick up on the joke. We actually don't stream, so don't feel like you're missing it. Just
January
wanted to put
9th,
that out there.
2023.
We already hit.
We're a week
This
past
is our
it.
1 year. This is our 1 year.
Dang.
Wow. Yay.
I've never loved you all more.
Damn.
That is true.
Pretty serious,
true.
yeah.
And this is our second podcast together.
Yeah.
We're that couple that got a divorce and remarried and just brought a third person in. A different third person.
a better
Saved
third
it.
person.
Saved it, Zach.
Yeah. Shut up, Lance.
Yeah.
Lance who?
Yeah, for sure. We'll make a big deal about the 1 year next time. We can talk about that if we want. We'll figure it out. Anyways, we'll sign off finally. Please show Zach here and that. Wow. Episodes 163 through 175. I don't know where that's at on Hulu. I've not looked. Basically, explosion, sage mode, and then watch the rest. All right. This has been Team 7 Podcast and the cards.
Oh no, we forgot
All right,
the cards.
there. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Shh, he's back. He's back. He's back.
So y'all can see all these. So we've got Sakura from OG.
Got a lot of those.
We've got Shizune, RIP. We've got Suigetsu, Kiba, wish you were RIP, and then Gaara.
Dude, I miss
That's
Gaara
one of
right
them.
now.
Dude.
I do need to make a quick prediction. I think that the Sand People are going to be coming back now that there's no Leaf Village. I mean, where are they going to go? What are they going to do?
Yep, they're good allies.
Yeah.
I think they're going to come together, sand and fire. You know what that makes?
Glass.
You know what glass does? Shields you from the rain. Boom. All right, this guy from the Sound Village. Can't remember his name.
That guy.
Tintin, lame. Konkuro, lame. Shikamaru, lame.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Not as lame.
Right after Shikamaru, too.
Kurenai, not as lame?
It's just like, it's just like I'm trying to get...
You mean cards-wise?
Yeah.
Was it pregnant Kurenai or Regi?
No. Not pregnant. If I did one more, I'd have to open another box, and I don't want to open another box.
Let's not.
Thank you, Connor. All right, 163 through 175. If you're still here listening to this, good on you, because I wouldn't be. No, I'm just playing. I totally would be. Please tell your friends about this. Bye.
Jet Kirby, if you're listening, give us a thumbs up.
Like and subscribe.